In a charcoal drawing, when we're using the vine charcoal and the compressed charcoal. I have the 3 different drawing tools. This is vine charcoal. Okay. This is the compressed charcoal. You can sharpen it if you want to see the touch point a little bit easier. That looking at her. So I'm going to just do a little bit of sketch. So vine charcoal has a very good advantage because you can erase it very easily. So we start with the vine charcoal first. Composition, okay? This is good. I'm thinking about what I'm going to include. Okay, I'm going to make it a little bit easier, so I'm not going to include the hand. So I see the shadow over here. This is, keep it very loose, very important, okay? You don't want to get it too dark, too quick, okay? Keep it as soft as you can. And this is good. So you can see both sides is the shoulder, okay? Like that. All right, this is good. I think I like this. The second step, I do a little measure. It's exactly the same thing that we do with drawing anything. A bottle, an apple, exactly the same process, trust me. Okay, if you master the process of observational drawing, you're gonna just measure the height of the whole shape compared to the width. The longest side and versus the height. You can see that the height longer, right? And this is good. And then I'm going to rotate it. I can see, I'm not going to include the ears and the left side of the face compared to the right side of the face. It's very much half. Okay, after you find it, this is good. If you don't understand how to measure, go back to the previous classes. Understand it a little bit better. Now half is just about here, right? Half, this is good. You can see it, half. Oh, take a look again. May not be half. Okay, that much. So that means we need to move that up this much, half of it. So this is half. So with this, oh, exactly this much. So I'm on the left side. If I put the left side of the face over here, okay, and the right side of the face, which is inside of the ear, would be here. So that means I need to move this a little bit in, a little bit tiny more. So we see that this is the shape of the left side of the face. And trust me, when you're eyeballing it, most of the time it's not correct, okay? At this point, you're probably thinking about, oh, this is totally too narrow. But in fact, trust what you measure. If you don't really think you got it right, measure again. Don't because of, I don't feel it right, and change it without measuring. That's very important. You have to measure, okay? All right, now I got the width compared to the height. And the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna measure what is the middle of the whole face. Now because her face tilting down a little bit, right? A little bit like that. So I would take a look at, but later I'm going to talk more about the proportion. I think about the eye would be the half, so I'm going to double check. No, I think the eyebrow is half. I'm going to do it again. Put it from the top to the eyebrow, and then from the eyebrow to the chin. Wow, exactly. This is good. So we already know this is half, so that means it's the eyebrow, right over there. Is that sounds like very, very familiar? The same thing that we draw anything else. You have to divide it. But from what I see over here from the eyebrow to the nose, very much equals from the nose to the bottom. Just this part, just a little bit longer. Like that. So now I have the location of the nose, how you feel about the proportion, and then you're gonna double check it. It's very important. Now, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna divide the shadow side with the light side. Okay, that's also another proportion. Think about the shadow side compared to the light side, and you do the same thing as drawing a bottle, or draw a mug, draw an apple. You have to divide the light side and the shadow side, which is we're gonna talk more about. We're not drawing a person, we're drawing the shape, the light shape, the dark shape, right? And we only think about that. Seeing the eye, I don't see the eye. I see the shape. It's very important. Okay? The next thing I'm going to do, I'm shading the whole shadow's shape. Now, do you see the feeling of three-dimensional? Already, by having the shadows and the light side separate. Right? Okay, but it doesn't look like a person yet. But this is not the purpose. We are just draw the shape, draw the light and dark, and finding the correct proportion. Now I'm going to take a look at, the ear a little bit higher because now I'm aligning the eyebrow. The eyebrow we only know is correct place. It's half from the top to the chin. Now looking at this, that's the ear a little bit lower. I just want to show you that how to use different tools. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I want to divide this to this half. That's the top over here, half of this are the hair. Okay, right over here. This is good. I have the hair coming down like this. You can see that there. Hair coming down. There you go. Now I'm going to take a look at all the way to the neck over here. That's just the shadow. And here you go. And think that that's a little bit lower, the shoulder a little bit lower than the nose. So here we go, like that. And then coming down over here, from here, coming down at this line, coming down straight, and the shoulder compared to the nose. We're gonna talk more and more complicated as we go, but at this point, I just want you to stick to what you already know so far this semester. Like that. Now, after this point, this is very easy to being smudge. So what I'm going to do, instead of let it smudge later, I'm going to smudge it with my hand. This is called blending. Okay, it's very easy by using your finger. You see that? I'm going to smudge this. I'm going to smudge this. You see that? Use the charcoal blending to create the soft shape. Okay, here we go. Now I create like some transition, like that. Okay, and then make that a little bit softer, like that. This is good. So I'm gonna have this a little bit softer up. Have this a little bit softer. This is good. Have that a little bit softer. The next thing you're gonna do, we're gonna apply the compressed charcoal. Compressed charcoal is a lot more stable than the wine charcoal, okay? Now, so the wine charcoals only act as the foundation. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do, and I have this compressed charcoal stick. It's the same material as what it has in your compressed charcoal pencil. Okay, this is the same thing, but it's a different form. So if you draw a bigger drawing, you use this one, right? So this is the the nitty eraser. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use the nitty eraser to create the highlight. Can you see that? Now I'm going to put that in over here, put a little light over here. This is good. On the cheek over here, a little bit lighter. Perfect. I'm going to have a little light over here too. Okay, this is good. And some here. Some texture. I'm going to create that right here. This is good. This is the light area. Now the next thing, also over here, a little bit lighter, like that. Okay, so that's a little bit lighter. I use my clean finger and make it a little bit lighter too. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to start coming into redefine it. Okay, this is good. Look like that. This is the shadow. Use a compressed charcoal. You can see that. This is your iris. Okay, that's good. And this is the shadow. You can see the shadow over here. So right after, and I'm going to set up something for you to draw on the table that is a little bit simpler. It's not, not going to ask you to draw a person, but it will be exactly the same process that you are going to, that you see, okay? I'm going to make this a little bit darker. You see the shadow? You see that your thinking is going to get more and more complex as you learn more and more about the observational drawing. Okay, and when I'm coming over here, you can see that there has a little bit shape. Everything about shape like that. I'm gonna just use blending, create that. I'm gonna see the nostril. So with the compressed charcoal, it will keep it more stable. Okay, over here, you see the shadow. You see that? Right in the shadow over here. Like that, this is good. And you see the shadow dividing, there's line dividing, there's a light and shadow. This is the light, this is the shadow. You see that gradually, you're gonna make the drawing just look like her. Just like magic. But that's just the beginning of a portrait drawing.